But here's, a president that is always unhinged, always deranged, always creating chaos and division. And he seems to have a real obsession with anyone that is an immigrant in this country that is not of European descent. But I think for me is I feel embarrassed for him because in these attacks, what he does, and I think with the likes of Nancy Mace, and whoever that Randy guy is, they expose themselves for how stupid they are. When they're saying they're going to deport me, knowing full well that you cannot deport an American citizen, what that displays for not just Americans, but folks on an international platform is that our country is being led by idiots. And that is.
In this video, Omar, she responds to the threats against her after her comments on the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Let's see this video together.
Target Jimmy Kimmel, bringing the full weight of a federal agency against him. We also saw some Republicans unleash vile, racist, and threatening rhetoric toward Congresswoman Ilhan Omar after her comments on Charlie Kirk's assassination. Congresswoman Nancy Mace led an effort to censure Omar. It ultimately failed, but that only fueled even more grotesque and hateful language, not just from people like conspiracy theorist Laura Loomer and Republican Congressman Randy Fine, who are calling for her to be banned from Congress and even deported, but also directly from the president himself. President Trump went on social media and basically had a tirade targeting Omar and her home country, Somalia, saying in part, "What scum do we have in our country?" And on Thursday, aboard Air Force One, he said this.
I love these people that come from a place with nothing, no anything, and then they tell us how to run our country. Now, I think if she got censored, that's great. If she got impeached, that's even better. They impeached me twice for nothing, and they impeached me knowing the Republicans are on my side.
Congresswoman Omar is back here.
She's actually been outraged. She's actually angry that the world is going against her for her harsh words towards the late Charlie Kirk. She's a Somali woman who has benefited so much from the United States, have a career for herself, doing well. But a lot of people think she's up to no good and she says more lies than the truth. Let's continue.
With us. So I guess we'll begin with your reaction to the language we just heard from the president there, but also I want to ask how you are doing. You've been attacked by the president, by a colleague whose office is right next door to yours, Congresswoman Nancy Mace. I know that you have received messages and voicemails from people threatening you. How are you holding up first?
I've been here before. I've been the target of the president in the most vile, bigoted, racist ways that you could imagine. And I've had to have full police detail because of that. So it is surprising that he's back at it because I thought he's moved on and found a new person to harass. But here's, a president that is always unhinged, always deranged, always creating chaos and division. And he seems to have a real obsession with anyone that is an immigrant in this country that is not of European descent. You don't hear him talking about the accent of his wife and the fact that she came here as an immigrant or any of those things, or the fact that she gets to have an opinion even though nobody elected her into office. But he has an objection to a person who does serve over 700,000 constituents in Congress, who's literally elected, has the same certificate as he does. But I think for me is I feel embarrassed for him because in these attacks, what he does, and I think with the likes of Nancy Mace, and whoever that Randy guy is, they expose themselves for how stupid they are. And that is embarrassing for us as a country because these are people who are elected to positions of leadership. He's supposed to be the president of the United States, who's heading off to Europe to represent us. When he does, he's uneducated enough to understand that members of Congress can't be impeached. When you have Nancy and Randy saying, we're on it, we're going to impeach her. When they're saying they're going to deport me, knowing full well that you cannot deport an American citizen. what that displays for not just Americans, but folks on an international platform is that our country is being led by idiots. And that is not something that we should be comfortable with as Americans. And that's not something that should make us proud. And so in this moment, I feel great sadness as an American that these are the kind of people that the world gets to see representing us.
So what do you think is at play here then? If these people are, as you say, idiots and don't understand the kind of basic responsibilities they either have and the powers that they have in Congress or in the presidency, what do you think is the animating factor behind why they come after you with such venom and vitriol?
Yeah, it's to gin up hate and then to turn it around, to be able to raise money, to rattle their base. And I think ultimately is to get enough people to bully us into silence. And I would have hoped by now that they have learned that one thing, they are not going to succeed in silencing my voice. I have the honor and privilege of representing Minnesotans who I love, who've welcomed my family, who helped raise and educate me, and who have given me the opportunity, the privilege, the honor of representing them in the United States Congress. So that is what I bring with me every single day as I walk on those halls, knowing that there are great Americans who have faith in me to carry their voice, to fight, to make sure that they are able to afford their lives. You know, this is a president right now that's presiding over an economy that is not working for anyone. It's getting worse for everyone. He has no understanding of how tariffs work and how those are hidden taxes on Americans. I represent Minnesota, where our farmers are feeling severe economic pain because we have, $22 billion in trade with Canada. So we are in pain as Minnesotans, not only because our healthcare is being threatened, not only there's food insecurity that is under threat right now, not only are we dealing with ICE terrorizing people and creating job shortages, but we're also feeling the economic pain of what these tariffs are doing to the economic vitality of our incredible state.
So, Congresswoman, I do want to go back to...
Oh my God. Why does she think this way? So many people have been fired for their awful behavior, awful speech over the late Charlie Kirk, and she feels she is not supposed to be banned. This is not a matter of being a racist. This is not about immigrants now. She claims because she's an immigrant to the United States is why she's been attacked. That is not so. This is what is right and what is wrong. And we all need to choose our words carefully, especially when things are looking very bad. Now she's playing a victim card because everyone out there is coming up against her for the nasty things she said about the late Charlie Kirk. It's so unfortunate, it's so devastating and sad that she couldn't even hold on and wait for his body to get cold before she came up to say those horrible things about him, knowing fully well that he wouldn't be able to defend himself any longer. And now she's worried that she's been fired and cancelled, and also claims that the country is being led by idiots because they are all coming for her. This is what a woman who is married to her brother has to say about the wrong and right in the United States. I want to know what's your thought, guys.